Hey there, I'm Alan from Cartograph, and this is our weekly Library Friday video. And this week we have a wine that's not crazy old. It's a 2017 from our estate vineyard, but we thought it might be fun to just go back a year or so and look at some wine that you might actually have in your collection rather than going into the deep dive into the archives. So it's not an old wine, but at the same time, it's kind of a unique season. 2017 was that year that we finally broke out of that 4-year drought that had really hit California hard. We were very lucky with our fruit sourcing and really kind of rode out that spell without a whole lot of issues. But 17 was really, really interesting. It was an unremarkable summer, but yet when we got towards the fall, we had really kind of wild swings in weather where we had rain and heat spells, and so what we ended up with is a very small crop due to I think it was in August while the grapes were still hanging. We hit over 110 degrees 2 days consecutively in our vineyard, which is in a very cold location in the Russian River Valley growing region, and so we eventually had to sort pretty heavily to get rid of raisins and damaged fruit in the winery. So we had a very small yield, somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 tons per acre, which is pretty lean. But that light crop also brought a lot of concentration. So this is a wine that I don't tell really with the lighting here, but it's dark ruby, and it definitely. You know, last week we talked about a 2011 Pinot, which I adore because of its nuance, sophistication, and kind of the suppleness. These young wines have like a totally different allure. There's a lot competing for your attention as you take a sniff and taste this wine. But yes, it's that combination of energy and all those competing kind of characteristics competing for your attention that this makes this wine a really fun wine still. It's still coming off as very young. I mean, it's dark, it's energetic, but you get a kind of interesting kind of two things playing off each other with like a deep blackberry and a really pretty cranberry note, which really kind of is a kind of a yin-yang thing aromatically. But there's also some really lovely violets and citrus blossom floating around in there, so it's got a really lovely floral component, but it definitely feels, at least aromatically, like it's kind of a big, bold, young Pinot, which is kind of on the, like, it's a little more on the big side for us. We're typically very restrained, angular, soft, pretty. This definitely feels like it's got a little energy behind it. It's definitely quite rich on the palate. It's crunchy with some nice good tannins and plenty of dark fruit. That blackberry is very prominent on the palate. It's good acid, but it also has a really nice spiciness to it. It's got a real good energy. For those of you who debate whether eucalyptus is a good or a bad thing in a wine, there is some eucalyptus near the property, and it really is giving this just a hint of mintiness. And I think that adds to, along with that bright acid that this property always provides, gives this wine a nice lift in addition to those dark, kind of almost brooding plum and blackberry notes. It's definitely, wow, there's some mouth-watering acid there, but but it's definitely a little chewy. This would be an absolutely great wine with like a grilled lamb or a lamb chop of some sort. If you do meat and like lamb, this would be a great pairing. So we've got one more library wine in April, and then we are going to shift in May and just talk about the new releases that we're releasing, our spring releases. But this wine is available obviously in the tasting room on Friday the 23rd, and continuing on the website if you're interested. But otherwise, we're having still gorgeous weather in Northern California, so if you would love to come visit us, we would love to see you in Healdsburg. Give us a call. Check us on OpenTable or on the web and make an appointment, and we would love to share this wine with you. Cheers, 2017 Cartograph Estate Pinot Noir.